Bonjour, bonjour à tous, bonjour à toutes et tous. Merci, merci. J'ai pas encore commencé à chanter, déjà vous applaudissez. C'est peut-être pour ça d'ailleurs que vous applaudissez, c'est que je n'ai pas chanté. On est très très heureux d'ouvrir cette 4e journée de VivaTech. Comme on dit, la journée grand public, la journée tout public. Et c'est une journée qui nous est particulièrement chère parce qu'après 3 jours de beaucoup de business, il va y en avoir encore aujourd'hui. VivaTech, c'est un endroit où on fait beaucoup de business. Il y a aussi cette envie de partager avec tout le monde des joies, les joies de la tech, les joies de l'innovation et aussi les joies du sport. Alors, les Échos, le Parisien organise et a fondé avec Publicis, on est 2 fondateurs, ce grand événement qui est VivaTech, qui fête sa 9e édition. Et on a plusieurs fois rencontré le monde du sport. Au Parisien, c'est une grande tradition. Le Parisien est le plus grand des généralistes sportifs, j'allais dire. On a une chaîne YouTube qui est extrêmement fréquentée. On a énormément de couverture, 400 millions de vidéos vues par mois. Donc beaucoup de vidéos qui sont liées au sport. Et on a souhaité s'associer cette année à la Kings League. Je pense que certains par ici sont de grands experts de la Kings League. D'autres vont la découvrir. La Kings League, elle a été fondée largement par Gerard Piqué, que vous allez voir. C'est un immense footballeur. J'ai eu la chance de rencontrer lundi et de voir en lui à la fois un footballeur avec une carrière absolument exceptionnelle, une carrière très longue au Barça, avec ce sens du placement, ce joueur avec une vision formidable, et footballeur et homme d'affaires. Un homme d'affaires, là aussi, quand vous l'entendrez, vous comprendrez ce que c'est qu'une bonne analyse du business, une bonne analyse de la projection et du développement de son nouveau sport. Voilà, donc on va accueillir 2 grands journalistes sportifs du Parisien, Benoît Lallemand et Dominique Sévrac, et puis ensuite ils vont faire venir Gérard Piqué. And with no further ado, I want to thank you all for being here and give a super warm welcome to our journalists first and then to Gerard Piqué. Enjoy your day at VivaTech and thanks for coming again. Thank you.
Vamos a pasarnos el juego. I'm the king of kings.
¿Estás ya listos?
Penalti shootout para Pío.
¿Dónde lo hacemos?
Vale, gente, votad todos.
Ojo, Málaga,
The battle for a new reign begins.
Bonjour à tous, je suis Dominique Sévrac du journal Le Parisien, du service des sports, et je suis venu avec mon chef.
Bonjour à tous, je suis Benoît Lallemand, responsable des sports au Parisien et ravi d'être avec vous ce matin pour parler football avec Dominique, l'un des experts du foot en France. So really happy to be here this morning with you, and we are really happy and proud to welcome one of the most prestigious football player of history, winner of everything you can win in football, Football World Cup, Euro Football, Champions League, and more. So really happy to welcome Gerard Piqué. So, Gerard, happy to welcome you. What are you doing in Paris?
Well, good morning to everyone. We have the Kings World Cup of Clubs here happening. Today is the final in La Paris Defense Arena. And we're organizing the whole event for the last 2 weeks. We are very happy to be here in Paris. Has been amazing, the whole journey since the beginning when we started Kings League France a few months ago. Today is the last day. Hopefully I'll see you there in the event tonight, but it will be a great party to end the journey.
Okay, so let's have a seat and we have the honor of asking you a few questions.
So, Gerard, when did you realize you wanted to build business in sport and not just play it?
Well, it's a different world. I mean, when you play in football, you work to perform on Saturday, and depending on the result on Saturday, you have a good week or a bad week. In business, it's different. In business, it's a daily. In a daily basis, you have to work. You have some announcements to make. You are excited because things are going well. But it's not the level of adrenaline of being a professional football player that you play in front of 50, 60, 90,000 people and that everyone is watching you on TV and that you have a pressure to perform and to win. It's a different kind of world, but I also enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. Did you need like taking risks, finding something to get this kind of adrenaline back after the football career?
Well, I like to take risks in life. I like to move away from the comfort zone and try new things. And this is why I wanted to start my own business and my companies while I was a football player. This is not normal. But at that moment I decided to do it because I wanted to explore different other things rather than just playing football. And I knew that at some point my career will finish and you have to be prepared for what's next. This is the advice that some of my teammates were telling me when they were retiring. They were saying, Gerard, you really need to find something else because when your career will be over, you will wake up in the morning and you will not have that routine for the last 12 years, which basically is go to have training and then traveling on the weekends and playing games. It's a different kind of life and you have to be ready for it.
Gerard, can you explain to us and to the audience how comes the idea of the Kings League? What is the Kings League really?
Well, the idea of the Kings League, it was because the last couple of years of my career, I was seeing myself and my kids that they had a little bit more difficulty to watch the 90 minutes of a full game. Obviously, if it's a quarterfinal, semi-final, or final of Champions League or important games, they would do it. But there was other games that were more difficult for them to stay the 90 minutes connected to what's happening on the game. So we decided to try to find a way of using the most beautiful sport in the world, which is football, and the most followed one, and try to change a bit the rules so it's more video game rather than traditional football. So I don't know, just to give you a couple of examples, to have goal double the last 2 minutes of the game. So if you're losing 4-0, all of a sudden you manage to score 2 goals in the last 2 minutes and you can draw the game. Or last 2 minutes of the first half, we throw a big dice from the stand, and if it's a 2, it becomes 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, which this is kind of different and very wild for the audience, and they love it. So this is the kind of rules, or maybe just to give you another one, the streamers are the owners of the teams, and if they are in the venue, they can push a button and they can shoot a penalty whenever they want, and they can help the team to win the game and to participate in the results. So this is the kind of rules in order for the audience to be more connected to what's happening on the pitch. The game is shorter, it's 20 minutes, 2 halves of 20 minutes. It's 7 aside instead of 11 versus 11 because it's very dynamic, the pitch is shorter and a lot of things are happening. So we decided to go in that direction on real life football, but with video game rules that I think it worked pretty much.
So you feel it was necessary to invent a new kind of football?
To invent a new product that is complementary to football. 85% of our audience is less than 34 years, meaning that I think that we are going to a kind of audience that it's not the same as traditional football. Part of our audience is coming from the esports, so from the video game industry. And this, at the end of the day, is what the brands and our partners want. They want to arrive and to reach this kind of audience that it's not anymore in traditional TV. And the fact that we created this product, for them, it's a great tool to arrive to them.
Gerard, how Kings League was inspired by gaming and streamer culture?
Well, it was inspired a lot. In a way, streamers, some of them, they are coming from the video game industry. Some of them, they have esports organizations, like teams that participate in League of Legends or FIFA or Dota, and the fact that we use them, because at the end of the day, streamers are the ones that they own the teams, and they bring their audience, which is a big one, a very loyal and engaged community, and we give the streaming rights of the games to their channels, meaning that they can react to what's happening to the game. If they score a goal, they celebrate. If they lose, they are angry. If the referee makes a mistake, as you can imagine, they react to it. So this is one of the things that people love, to see that the streamer is really committed, and at the same time that they are able to stream the games.
What are the main rules again you introduced to change many things in the game?
One of the big difference that we have from traditional football is that we wanted to put the audience in the center, meaning that we ask the audience absolutely everything regarding Kings League. We ask them the rules, we ask them the time of the games, what day and time they want the games to be played. We even ask if they wanted the grass green, because we have a turf, we have artificial grass, and it was green when we started, but then using our channels in Twitter, in Instagram, and so on, we do polls and we make them vote and decide what they want. And for example, the grass, we put different options: black, green, blue, pink, and 70% of our audience, they decided that they wanted black. So now all the pitch that we have in all the different countries is black. And when you watch on TV and you see football in a black pitch, everyone knows it's Kings League. So this is the kind of things that we do that it's different from traditional football. Obviously, I mean, in traditional football you have FIFA, UEFA, you have the leagues. The audience cannot vote, cannot decide anything. And in Kings League it's totally different. We try to be different. And regarding the rules, that this was your question and you're mentioning, at the end of the day, we propose different rules. We are changing time to time the rules, but the audience are the ones that at the end of the day decide if we go in one direction or the other.
How the Kings League has grown, becoming a huge phenomenon in the world in 7 markets. How do you do this?
Well, it's pretty crazy, the whole journey, because we started January 1st, 2023, so it was 2.5 years ago. We started with Spain. We started the first league with the final at Camp Nou in front of 92,000 people, sold out. This was March 2023. Then we did the second edition where we started also Queen's League in Spain. And the final was in Atletico Madrid Stadium in July 2023. We sold out 60,000 people also. And then we decided to expand. We went to Mexico. 40% of our audience was from Mexico because of the language. It's the same one as in Spain. So we started in February 2024 in Mexico. 12 teams also. We call it Kings League Americas because it's all the region of Central America and South America, Argentina, Colombia, Peru, Chile, and so on. So we have teams in all these regions, but playing in Mexico. Then we did Queen's League in Kings League Americas, and then we decided to expand to Italy, Germany, France, and Brazil. That this is what we did in the first half this year, 2025. So right now we already have leagues in 6 different countries, and we have 8 different leagues because we have 2 Queen's Leagues in Spain and in Americas. And last week we announced Kings League MENA in the region of Middle East and North Africa that we will start at the end of this year. And the next one, hopefully, that we will announce in the next weeks will be US, that it will be for February 2026.
Yeah, great. Do you think 2 types of football can cohabit, and how Kings League positions itself vis-à-vis traditional football?
We believe that we are complementary to traditional football. At the end of the day, we are more or less the same. We use the same rules. The new generations now, they are very adapted to consume 2 or 3 different screens. So they are watching traditional TV and they can watch PSG versus Inter, the final of the Champions League, and at the same time they are watching the tablet, the iPad or the iPhone, and they can watch Kings League there. So the way of consuming is totally different from 10 or 20 years ago, where we just had traditional TV and we were watching there everything. And Kings League is a way of, okay, if you can consume different, why we don't create the product thinking on that way of consuming?
Let's talk about the French team. How the French team have performed in the World Cup?
Well, we expected to perform a little bit better because we will not have any French team playing tonight. But I think that overall the level of Kings League in France was good. The players were good. There was a couple of teams qualifying for quarterfinal. And what is true is that in Champions League, Paris is, I think, the city that you have more players playing Champions League coming from Paris. So this means that the level of producing players and talent from France, it's huge, it's very big. The national team of France in the last few years have been very successful in traditional football. So we know that for the next years, Kings League France, the level will be better and better. I'm sure that at some point they will become world champion.
So it was really important for Kings League to come to France and to Paris.
For sure. I mean, first time that we brought the product to France, it was through Amin Matoué, that I'm sure that most of you know the guy. We invited him as a wildcard in our first World Cup. It was in Mexico back in June 2024. And even the games were at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning here in France, because obviously we were playing in Mexico and due to the time zone, games were very late. But the level of audience of Amin in his channel streaming those games were incredible. Like he was putting millions and millions of people in his channel streaming his games. So we decided after that reaction, we said, okay, we need to bring Kings League to France, and this is what we did in March 2025, that we started the first edition, and then the best teams of Kings League France qualified for the World Cup, a little bit similar to Champions League in traditional football, and the result was incredibly well. I mean, the audiences of all the games in Kings League France and then in the World Cup has been incredible here, and we are very proud and excited to keep going, because France for us, it's a very important country.
Gerard, how legends like Aurélien Tchouameni, Jules Koundé, Mike Maignan, Adil Rami became involved in the Kings League?
Yeah, it's funny because a lot of active players and legends are part of our ecosystem. So we have Lamine Yamal has a team, Neymar has a team, we have Kaká in Brazil, Zlatan Ibrahimovic in Italy, Bastian Schweinsteiger, we have Iker Casillas, Kun Agüero, Chicharito.
Good players.
Yeah, all of them big legends of the game. At the end of the day, is what I said before, Kings League is football. And they want to be part of it because you arrive to a generation that maybe they didn't see them play, some of them, like, I don't know, Zlatan or Kun Agüero, Iker Casillas, and so on. So they love to be part of it. They love to own a team and to make decisions and to manage everything regarding the club. Lamine Yamal is fun because he's 18, he's 17 right now. And when we started Kings League, he was 14, so he was the perfect target. And he was following everything what's happening in Spain, so he knows all the players, and he was desperate to have a team. And he reached out to us, and we decided to give him a team, and he's having fun. For him, it's like a video game. He's managing his team. He played in the World Cup here in Paris. But at the end of the day, this mix between the digital world with the streamers and the traditional football with the active players or the legends of the game, it works very, very well because ones give the credibility and the other ones bring the audience of this digital world. And it's been very successful, the fact of mixing both worlds.
So I think it's time to see a film of the Kings.
With pleasure, Benoît.
Yes.
Each game, own rules. But what happens if you change those rules?
World Cup begins now.
C'est dans la tête, c'est mental.
Kevin le pega tutto a Kevin.
Keep your eyes on us.
So, un bel aperçu de ce que est la Kings League.
Exactement. So, Kings League World Cup started on June 1st.
June 1st this year. Last year we did the first edition.
Yes,
These images were from last edition
year.
in Mexico.
Okay. But this year
Was June 1st until today. Today is the last day.
How was it so far?
It was incredible. I mean, the level of excitement and hype from all these countries, because at the end of the day, what's happening is that the best teams of each league qualified. So it's very similar to a Champions League in a way. And the narrative of these teams qualifying through their local league makes that right now there is a lot of hype on to watch obviously the World Cup, but who will become the world champion. And this means that every day you have a lot of audience from all these different countries in the world following the teams and seeing, obviously, great football, great show, and who will become the world champion that we will see it tonight.
Your best moments so far?
Best moments? Well, there has been incredible games, great comebacks. Yesterday, for example, Porcinos, they were losing 4-1 against Furia, which was the favorites, the Brazilian team. And they won in the last second with a goal double, so they won 5-4. We had an incredible goal from a Brazilian player called Lipao. He did an incredible bicycle. I think it's by far the best goal of the competition. Tonight we will see a packed, sold out Paris La Défense watching the final, so it will be also a great moment. Before the final, we have a game between the French streamers against the rest of the world streamers, so it will be fun to watch Amin Matue playing against DJ Mario, that I know that there is a big rivalry here in the France versus Spain kind of rivalry. So I think during these 2 weeks, there are plenty of incredible moments between streamers, creating a lot of content that people really enjoyed.
So tonight, the final between two Spanish teams, Los Troncos, who beats Flusio 6-5 yesterday night, and Porcinos, who beats Furia Football Club 5-4. What are your expectations for the final tonight?
Well, it's fun because the first World Cup winner was Porcinos last year, so they can become world champion again. They beat Furia, which is the team of Neymar. And Neymar called me and he told me that if he was qualifying for the final, he was taking a private plane and coming to Paris to shoot the penalty. At the end of the day, he was out, so he's not coming. But it's fun to watch how involved the streamers and the legends of the game are, because they really want to help their team, even if it's shooting a penalty. Furia, they have a streamer. When Neymar is not there, is the streamer shooting the penalty, but he missed the 5 penalties that he shoot in the whole competition. So this is why Neymar wanted to come to shoot the penalty to help his team win the final. But at last minute, they lost in a goal double in the last second yesterday. So he will not be able to come.
Yeah, we talk about Kings League. Do you have other revolutionary project in sports or in business and sport business?
I like to think out of the box and think about different ways of disrupting sports in a way. I believe that the sports, they have to go more into entertainment. There is a lot of traditional sports that they are very focused on the technical side, the physical side of it. But the sports are not anymore competing against other sports. So football is not competing against basketball or tennis. Football is competing against entertainment, against Netflix, against HBO, against Amazon Prime, against TikTok, against Twitter, against Instagram. Because people has 24 hours, you sleep 8 hours, the other 8 hours you're working. So you really have 8 hours to have fun every day, and what you want is to be entertained. And sports, I think that they have to adapt and modernize in a way that can be entertained. It's not possible that, it's normal because it's more than 100 years of history and we are adapt to that, but it's not possible that in a game you go to stadium with your kids, you take the car, you park the car, it's 1 hour, you take to the stadium, it's 90 minutes and the game finishes 0-0. There is no goals, no winner, and you go home and now what? So, of course, we adapt to that, and the most traditional people will say, oh, we cannot change this. If football is football, it has to go this way. Well, I understand it a little bit different. I think that we can change. We don't have to be radical. We don't have to change football and become Kings League, because obviously we have some crazy rules that never in the history will be part of traditional football. But I really believe that we have to change it a little bit. And the way it's structured, football with FIFA and UEFA and the leagues is very political. And it's very difficult to change things. You need a lot of years to change a small thing. There has to be a way to change things in a quicker way.
Do you like your new life? The life now, after the player, the good player you were? You like this life to think about projects, business, about sports?
I love my life. I'm a very privileged guy, and I realized that from the beginning of when I was very young. So I wake up in the morning, I try to have an objective, something to fight for, because at the end of the day you need to have a motivation in life to wake up. But yeah, I realized how privileged I am. I mean, I did whatever I want all my life. I enjoyed so much playing football. It was a job, but it wasn't a job for me, because at the end of the day it's what I loved to do. And now I'm doing the same. I started this project and this business, but I'm not looking to make profit or money. I mean, obviously at the end of the day, to make money means that you are successful, and this is what all of us, we aim to, but it's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is the journey, is having fun, is having a team. We started being 15, 20 people when we start back in January 2023. We are more than 270 people right now and growing. And at the end of the day, what you want is have fun. These 2 weeks here in Paris, we had a lot of fun. People in the team is destroyed right now. It's the last day, and you can see that they are all over the place. But after the final, we organize a big party tonight. We'll have some drinks. We'll have fun. And yeah, we will enjoy. It's part of life.
Gerard, we're in Paris. It's impossible to finish the session without a question about what happened on the final of Champions League. Were you surprised by the victory of PSG, and surprised by what Luis Enrique, you know very well, did with this team?
Well, I know Luis Enrique very well. I had the opportunity to have him as a coach 3 years in Barça. The guy is amazing. You are starting to discover him a few months ago, but his mentality, his way of seeing life, he's a true leader, and he showed that with PSG. His message was always, I don't need big stars, I need a team, I need players playing together for an objective that is the same for everyone, to be aligned. And he showed that. It seemed when Mbappé was leaving that obviously it was a big blow for PSG, but it was the other way around. They become more a team, and they finally won the treble, making the best football in Europe and and winning 5-0 in the final against a team like Inter Milan. So I think that PSG fans, you should be very proud of what you have achieved. I've heard our CEO in Kings League is French, and he's an Olympique Marseille fan. And he's all the time saying forever second, because they were the first winning the Champions League back in the 90s with the Olympique Marseille. But it's true that at the end of the day, you become Champions League winners, and you have to be very proud of it.
Gerard, last thing. Who deserves the Ballon d'Or of France football? Lamine Yamal or Ousmane Dembélé? You are in France. They say Hakimi.
I've played with both of them. I had the opportunity to share dressing room with Ousmane and with Lamine. Both of them, they are incredible guys. I love them. Us, it was like a brother for me, because the guy, when he arrived, you know how he is. And Lamine also, I think that he's very, very talented, very special. I would prefer Lamine because he's in Barça now, and he's in Kings League also. He owns a team, so I would like Lamine to win it. He's very, very young, very talented, and I think that he's very special. But I like also Ousmane a lot, and if Ousmane finally wins it, I'll be happy for him.
So, Gerard, thank you very much for this time, and good luck for the final tonight.
Merci to everyone. Thank you.
On va demander à...
Il est temps de faire la photo. Photo souvenir. Pierre, est-ce que vous pouvez nous rejoindre? Sur le salon. À bientôt. C'était Gerard Piqué. Merci à lui.